Out we go. Before you even throw the punches, your stance must be right as far as your pivot. You start off with your pivot, get on your pivot, and it's light. The jab goes like this. This is exactly how the jab goes. Jab.
Counterpunching. But overall, I have to say Crawford. If you go down the list and ask me about tactical advantages, most of them are Crawford.
Floyd Mayweather just pulled up to Terence Crawford's training camp, acting like the blueprint for beating Canelo Alvarez. He laid out the same tricks he used back in 2013 to school Canelo's speed: slick defense and razor-sharp countershots. According to Floyd, that's the key to picking Canelo apart. Now, whether you see it as wisdom or ego, one thing's clear: Mayweather's stepping in to shape Crawford's game, and that could tilt the scales in this high-stakes clash against the bigger, stronger Alvarez.
You bring the hook with it. You can go to the body. Jab. Just double jab. Triple jab.
At a recent press conference, Canelo Alvarez came out swinging not with his fists, but with bold words aimed straight at Terence Crawford's resume. He didn't sugarcoat it. In his eyes, Crawford hasn't faced any real top-tier competition. Canelo made it clear he believes he's operating on a level Crawford's never even touched. But this wasn't just trash talk. It was a calculated mind game meant to shake Crawford before the first punch is even thrown. Canelo's comments weren't just about confidence, they were a loud reminder that he sees himself as the gold standard, and he's not buying the hype around his challenger.
Last fighters that you fought, they ain't on my level. And
I fought everybody.
The last fighters you fought since 2002.
Mention me one. You
Since
mention me
2002.
one elite fighter. Just one.
You.
Oh, me.
Look,
it's gonna
you.
be me.
I don't
and
care
you
about
will,
nobody else.
And you will see that day.
You. So when I beat you, is you gonna be a nobody? When I stump a mud hole in your ass, is you gonna be a nobody? Same shit everybody else been saying since I moved to 147, I ain't fought nobody. Every last one of them stump a mud hole in their ass and he gonna be next. Watch.
Live, only on DAZN, June 28th. Jake Paul versus Chavez Jr. Buy now at DAZN.com/box.
Max Kellerman didn't hold back in his breakdown of Crawford versus Canelo. He pointed straight to Crawford's jab, calling it one of the deadliest weapons in the sport right now. According to Kellerman, Canelo used to have that same kind of snap in his jab, but those days are gone. Now Crawford's speed and pinpoint accuracy give him a serious advantage. Kellerman also made it clear Crawford's fight IQ could be a nightmare for Canelo, who leans too heavily on size and brute force. Bottom line, this fight might not come down to muscle, but to who's the smarter, sharper technician in the ring.
Jab. Crawford.
Best defense.
Crawford. Nowadays, Crawford. I would say early in the fight, Canelo. And earlier in his career, Canelo. But he hasn't been that kind of fighter in recent years. Although Crawford is also hittable. With any fighter, when you talk about their defense, the question is not, can they be hit with a shot? You take punches. Everyone, the greatest defensive fighters ever get hit. Pernell Whitaker, Willie Pep, Floyd Mayweather, they all get hit. The question is, can you hit them with combinations? And both guys are hard to hit. With the two-piece, hard to hit.
So who has the best footwork out of the two?
In terms of cutting off the ring, last fight notwithstanding, Canelo has gotten much better at cutting off the ring. But, you know, early in his career, he had a problem with that and was much more comfortable counterpunching. But overall, I have to say Crawford. If you go down the list and ask me about tactical advantages, most of them are Crawford. What Canelo has is size. Size and, as a result, physical strength and punching power. Canelo also has a great chin. A great chin. But in terms of, if you want to go skill for skill, especially the recent version of Canelo, who's had to turn into a seek and destroy guy, who had to learn as his career went on to cut off the ring and not just follow guys around. Like Lara, Trout, Floyd, he followed those guys around. He had trouble because he's really a natural counterpuncher who wants you to come to him.
Nico Ali, grandson of the legendary Muhammad Ali, didn't hesitate to throw his full support behind Terence Crawford. In his eyes, Crawford isn't just a great fighter, he's the full package. Nico praised his character, discipline and elite skills, saying Crawford has what it takes to be mentioned among the sport's all-time greats. But this isn't just about wins or belts. Coming from boxing royalty, that kind of endorsement shows that Crawford's impact is deeper. It's about earning respect from those tied to the game's most iconic legacy.
People with Canelo before Canelo's last fight, but then after Canelo's last fight, it seems like it's more 50-50 now. So everything is just the build up for that fight is just going to be absolutely magnetizing. Like that fight, it's garnered so much more buzz after Canelo's last fight, and Bud is Bud. He's one of the greatest fighters in boxing history. He is one of the greatest fighters in boxing history. So it's going to be a fight. It's going to be awesome to watch.
Have you sparred any of them?
I haven't sparred Bud yet. I haven't been in Canelo's camp. I've met Canelo a few times. I love Canelo's team. Canelo's one of my favorite fighters. He's been my favorite fighter for the longest time. But you know, I have to be Team Bud because me and Bud are cool, and I have so much belief in Bud, and I know who he is as a fighter. He is one of the greats. So he could do anything you know, he wants.
And being around both of them and seeing how they work and train and things like that, what makes both of them the fighters they are, in your opinion?
I've watched Bud, so for Bud in particular, he's calm in everything he does, and that kind of calm is scary to watch because it shows experience. You can see that he's been doing this for decades.
Canelo Alvarez gave Crawford his due, but kept it all business. He admitted that at the elite level, weight classes don't mean as much because real fighters know how to adapt. Canelo made it clear he's not taking this lightly. He's training, full throttle, knowing that going up against Crawford takes more than just relying on size or strength. His words showed respect, but also a clear message. He understands this isn't just another fight, it's a war that demands every ounce of preparation, focus, and strategy.
And why do I need to fight this guy? For you, what changed? Tell me about the moment where you're like, you know what? Maybe I'll do this. This sounds like a good idea.
No, if you're thinking about it, look how big turns this fight. It's big fight. No, that's why made me change. But you know, I've been in his situation before, jumping weight classes, and when you're a good fighter, that doesn't matter. So I'm not gonna focus on that. I'm gonna focus on training very hard because Crawford is a very good fighter.
Yeah, tell me about your experience with that, because now it's reverse. He's coming up in weight. What could be dangerous? What aren't we seeing that maybe you see in this fight?
No, everything. He's a good fighter. Obviously, I know that, and I need to be careful. I need to be careful in everything.
Showbiz the adult came through with a well-rounded take on this clash. He gave Canelo props for his raw strength and the hardcore grind of his training camp, saying that's what keeps Canelo running the game. But he didn't sleep on Crawford either. Showbiz pointed out that Crawford's wrestling background gives him a rare edge. He can read opponents and shut down their tricks like a chess master in gloves. Still, despite Crawford's skills, Showbiz leaned slightly toward Canelo, saying the champ's experience and natural size might just tip the scale in his favor.
Canelo uses his legs, he uses his core, and then his neck itself to lift up Bivol like Bivol was a featherweight. That is a huge representation of how strong Canelo is. When you look at his workouts, you can tell why he was able to do that. All these damn neck exercises that I wouldn't dare do. Okay, that stuff looks painful. The squatting and all that stuff that he's doing is exactly why Canelo Alvarez, honestly, is a strong fighter. He tried to do it again with William Skull. William Skull shook out of it, but he is a bull. Listen, Terence Bud Crawford is strong. He is, okay? And he understands leverage, and he understands those things because he wrestled. Honestly, very true. But Saul Canelo Alvarez is also extremely strong. Now, let me know how you feel in the comments below. We're in the zone, war.
Yarrell Miller didn't hold back when sharing where his heart lies. He wanted to see Crawford come out on top. Miller zeroed in on Crawford's hunger and drive, saying those qualities could be the X factor, even if he's the smaller man in the ring. He brushed off all the talk about size like it's just noise, insisting that when a fighter is truly motivated, physical gaps don't mean a thing. For Miller, this isn't just about stats or power, it's about who's got the heart to push through when it counts.
Huge fight September 13th. Who do you think's going to win that?
I'm pulling for Crawford in this one. I think people are underestimating his strength right now and his size. And I think he's a little more hungry than Canelo. So let's see though, but I like both guys, but I'm more a little closer to Crawford, so I want to see Crawford continue.
Many analysts are hammering home one point: Crawford's strategy is everything in this fight. This isn't just another match. It's a career-defining shot to shut the doubters up and carve his name into boxing history. Taking down a champion like Canelo would change everything for Crawford, but to pull it off, he can't afford to get reckless. He's got to stay sharp, calculated, and ice-cold. This battle will come down to precision, patience, and the ability to adjust on the fly, because one wrong move could cost him everything.
Understands that he has to be smart. And I think with this one specifically, it ain't just about being smart. He knows he has to look like he's never looked before, because again, if he doesn't and he beats Canelo, everybody's just gonna say, well, that's Crawford, you know. So I think he knows that this is the performance of a lifetime and everything has to look right. He knows in order for it to look right, he can't just go out there and let the dog go. The dog is, you know, you got to work his way up to the dog. Hey, show the clip real quick. I don't know if you showed it already, but this is the dog you're talking about right here, right? And so this is, I pulled this clip right here. I seen it on social media this morning.
Don't do that. That's what I'm saying.
And I pulled this clip, right? But this is Terence.
That's who he is.
He's not gonna swing on Canelo. He already know that part of the game. But what I asked you, were you ever trying to send a message to your opponents? He's letting you know, and it's no act. And that's what I really wanted to show, is that's not an act.
No.
That's not, there's 30 security guards.
I don't know, it feels a little contrived.
You think so?
I think a lot of people feel it's a little like.
Well, I'm glad you used a big word that most of us don't know.
Hey, I don't fight as good as you guys. I had to learn some big words, right, to make up for that.
Don't look it up. Just ignore what
you need big words to get out of fights. You know, you need big words to get out of fights. But you know, okay. So case in point, our guy Hafey, sitting right there, producer extraordinaire. He had a picture of Terence Crawford in New York.
Crawford's ambition couldn't be clearer. He's not just looking to win, he's going for the knockout against a bigger, stronger Canelo. That's a bold move, but one he's earned the right to make. His performance is at 154 pounds already, which showed he can hang with heavier hitters and still control the fight. Jumping to 168 is no small step, it's a serious leap, but Crawford's skill set and past experience say loud and clear. He's not walking into this blind, and he's definitely not out of his league.
Bud Crawford is taking his undefeated record, putting it on the line, daring to be great, to try and knock off Saul Canelo Alvarez from his throne and go and try to do something that no man has ever done, and that is to be a 3-division undisputed champion. That's a tall task. We know that Canelo Alvarez has fought fighters way bigger than Bud Crawford. It's actually one of the biggest talking points in this fight is the size. Canelo Alvarez has fought guys like Bivol. He's fought guys like Kovalev. He's fought guys like Billy Joe Saunders. He's fought really big fighters who are established at their weight classes all the way up to light heavyweight. And we know that Bud has come from a smaller weight class, being a champion all the way down at the 135-pound division into 140, 147. But as you can see in the tail of the tape, Bud is actually taller. Bud actually has a bigger reach. And quite frankly, he did most recently fight in the 154-pound division. And I don't think he will struggle to make weight to be at 168 and fight as a super middleweight. The question is, though, is bone structure. Who's going to carry that weight more effectively? We know that Canelo Alvarez has been in the weight longer, and as I mentioned, he's fought bigger guys. It's really something amazing for Bud if he's able to pull this off.
Edgar Berlanga came through with a solid take on Crawford's mindset heading into this showdown. He encouraged Crawford to stay true to the style that's made him great, instead of trying to force something just to match Canelo's size. Berlanga pointed out that moving up to full weight classes automatically levels the playing field. This isn't a mismatch. It's a real fight. His words underline one thing. No matter what happens, Crawford's stepping up and showing the world he's not afraid to chase greatness on the biggest stage possible.
First of all, he got to go in there and he just got to fight him. You know what I'm saying? He got to go in there. I think Crawford just got to go in there and do what he got to do. You know what I'm saying? He got to just be Crawford, you know, show his IQ, show him why he's a two-time undisputed, you know, world champion, and go in there with confidence. You know what I'm saying? That's all it is. You know, there's a big weight difference, a big weight jump. You know, that could be a difference in the fight. You know, because obviously, you know, it's like me jumping up to heavyweight. Obviously, I'm a foot of power. I'm a foot of that size difference, you know, compared to my other fights. So I just think that he got to go in there and just be himself. And I said, if he loses, you know, we'll just all know that, hey, you know, he just jumped up 2 weight classes to be great. You know what I'm saying? It's not, he can't really, he's testing himself. He's putting himself, testing himself a great fighter. So, and I don't doubt him, you know, I don't got no doubt in my mind. You know, he's a 2-time undisputed world champion for a reason. So, you know, and I don't think none's gonna phase him in that fight. You know what I'm saying? Maybe the power, maybe the size, you know what I'm saying? And you know, Canelo, he's not knocking Canelo out. So he just gotta go in there just IQ.
Would you lean towards Canelo still in that fight?
I got faith in him. I think Crawford could do it. You know what I'm saying? I think he could do it. Just like I said, just the size, the only shit that throws the fight off is the size and, you know, obviously the power. And Canelo's IQ too, because Canelo got IQ, you know what I'm saying? And Canelo fought a lot much bigger guys, you know. So I know the Crawford's power ain't gonna phase him. I know Crawford's size ain't gonna phase him either, you know what I'm saying? So, but for me, I think it's a 50-50.
Gareth Davies and Duke McKenzie didn't hold back when breaking down just how big this fight really is. In a boxing era where top names dodge each other, this showdown is a rare gem. 2 elite fighters finally stepping up. They agreed this is the kind of clash fans live for, greatness versus greatness where legacies are made, not talked about. They also spotlighted Crawford's biggest weapon, his ability to adapt mid. He's known for studying opponents on the fly and flipping the game plan when it counts. That skill has let him break down high-level foes and control the ring. Against a powerhouse like Canelo, that mental edge could be the key to tipping the balance.
I mean, this is a huge fight that's coming up. I really like Terence Crawford. I think, you know, we were talking about coaches breaking down film. I think that Terence does a good job of that, breaking his opponent down in the fight. I think that he does a good job of adjusting. I do think that, you know, Canelo is a big feat ahead of him because I also like Canelo. Like, it's kind of one of those things like, who do I like more that night? It's gonna be a really good fight. I like both of them. I think that, you know, that is something that I think women's boxing does a good job of, is putting on fights like that. Like we'll fight whoever. So I think it's cool to see the men starting to do more of that. Like it historically has always been.
Tim Chu gave a brutally honest breakdown of the fight dynamics. He pointed out that while Canelo's style is powerful, it can get predictable, and that opens the door for a smart, sharp fighter like Crawford to take full advantage. Chu also called out the heated press conferences, saying most of that fire is just for show, more hype than real hate. But when it comes to belief, he's backing brains over brawn. Chu sees Crawford's skill as the great equalizer. Crawford knows the stakes. He's admitted this fight could define his legacy for decades. By stepping into this challenge, he's gambling everything. He'll either walk away a legend or suffer a major fall. That kind of pressure makes this showdown even more explosive.
Made him this great. Do you think that this is a similar thing for your fight now at this point in your career, stepping up and facing someone like Canelo? Does this kind of make you unbeatable and this figure that will just go down in history?
I don't know. I don't know about comparing it to his situation, but it will be a situation where I'll be talked about for many decades to come, and definitely go down in the history books as one of the best fighters to ever lace up the glove.
Terence Crawford isn't delusional. He's coming into this fight with cautious confidence. He's put his chances at 70%, a number that shows he believes in himself, but isn't blind to the challenge ahead. Facing a seasoned, bigger warrior like Canelo is no joke, and Crawford knows it. His words revealed the mindset of a fighter who respects the mountain he's climbing, but still thinks he's got the tools to reach the top. It's not just confidence, it's calculated belief, backed by preparation and grit.
What percent you're gonna win?
We never 100%.
What percentage are you?
70.
To say 70% chance, it just doesn't sound that confident. But I want to say this, though. He was being truthful. He knows how important this fight is. And it's that important because it is very difficult. So him saying this is difficult, and I'm giving myself a 70% chance, which is why I'm doing it. It is not because I'm bigger than him and this is easy and I'm stronger than him actually and people don't understand that I'm more skillful. No, he's a beast. And this has never been done. And this is not a sure thing. And that's why I'm so eager to do it. That's the definition of greatness. That's why he should be on a Mount Rushmore if he accomplishes it. That's why Terence Crawford is brave.